Conservatives said they got the message in 2012. They need to appeal to young women, young people, and so on. And to that effect, a conservative group with financial ties to the Koch brothers is out with new ads about why young people, particularly women, well, they should be horrified at the idea of the Affordable Care Act. The ads begin inside the Matrix, it would appear, with government spying on the location of your every mole and freckle. In one, we're introduced to a typically all-American girl being led into a room for what should be a routine examination. But oh no, it's not her usual doctor who's there to examine her, but the creepiest of all creepy uncles, Uncle Sam. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOP warning of the dangers of old white men with no discernible medical training telling women what to do with their bodies. Joining us now laughing is Brad Woodhouse, who's the president of Americans United for Change and a former DNC communications director. Brad, I want to get to the GOP civil war in a moment, but first, the only thing these ads seem to be missing is a demon sheep. I mean, do you think ads like that are going to sway any of the 55% of women or 60% of voters under 30 who voted for the president in the last election?
Well, I don't know, Martin, but let me tell you this. The first thing I thought when I saw that ad was I'd like to get David and Charles Koch in a stirrup and show them a little what for. But the truth of the matter is I don't think it's going to sway anyone. I don't think anyone is going to look at that ad and believe it's credible. Now, if you'd run that ad, you know, a few years ago and it was an accountant at an insurance company instead of that crazy uncle they have, that would have been true. But this, what they put on the air is absolutely,
but the thing is, Brad,
absolutely not true.
Brad, I thought it was Republicans who spent the whole of last year recommending transvaginal probes were forced into women's birthing canals. And yet now they have the audacity to run an ad like that, impugning the Affordable Care Act.
Well, that's exactly right, Martin. I mean, this was a party. It is a party. I mean, they haven't stopped this effort to, you know, to intercede in a woman's right to choose by saying that she has to submit herself to a transvaginal probe. I mean, it's incredible that they would even go there, given their history, and given how easy it is, one, to refute the actual content of the ad, but also to remind people of the war that they have had on women, on health care, and everything like that.
Well, Brad, speaking of war, let's go to the Civil War. Let me read you a portion of an editorial from Karl Rove about why the fight to defund the Affordable Care Act is lunacy. I'm quoting him. Republicans would need 54 House Democrats and 21 Senate Democrats to vote to override the president's veto. No sentient being believes that will happen. Now, Brad, I know you've read the complete editorial, so tell me, what does it feel like to be in complete agreement with Karl Rove?
Well, I was shocked this morning when I tweeted that editorial out. But look, it really is common sense. I mean, you know, John Boehner a few months ago said, look, I'm not going to drive your bus over the cliff on this defunding of Obamacare or shutting the government down. But he's been pushed to the driver's seat by the Tea Party in his caucus, and now he's got the wheel and he's pressing down the accelerator. It is beyond ridiculous what they are trying to do. And they have no end-game strategy here.
But Brad, Senator Ted Cruz is a con man, because one day he says, oh, this is the great principle, we must do this. The next day he says, well, of course it won't get the votes and it won't go anywhere.
Well, look, I think...
So much for principle.
Ted Cruz is a con man. I mean, look, this is someone who I am sure never thought that John Boehner was going to put a defunding bill on the floor, because John Boehner can add 2 plus 2. He knew that at the end of this, this is going to fail, and it's going to make the Republican Party look worse than it already does. And so yesterday he tried to back out of this by saying, well, you know, it's going to be hard for us to actually do this in the Senate, so y'all will have to stand firm. Well, what does standing firm mean? It means shutting the government down. You know, there's some Republicans that say they don't want to go there, but I'm not convinced.
Brad Woodhouse, thank you so much, Brad.
Great. Thank you, Mark.